All right, let's watch this video. Dylan Raiola decided to leave Nebraska to potentially, probably go to Oregon. Um, I don't really blame the kid, honestly. It's you know, Nebraska's in the middle of the country. It's got a lot of things like I would, especially for a kid like him. He's a 5 star that could have went to Georgia, Ohio State, literally any school in the country. Like, and he decided to come to Nebraska because his dad played for Nebraska, wanted to kind of be, that guy type deal. Um, but no, he's in the transfer portal now. Let's watch this.
We got more action, baby. Dylan Raiola intends to enter the transfer portal. Where could he go? What do we make of this? What does it mean for Nebraska? We'll unpack all that if you're a college football sicko trying to keep tabs on the portal. Welcome to the party. So are we. Make sure you are subscribed. Here's my first thought on Dylan Raiola in Nebraska. This whole thing just feels weird with the breakup. Well, that's what it is, right? Anytime you intend to enter the transfer portal, you.
Is it? I don't think it is weird. Like, it's Dylan Wright. Like, this guy went to 5 or 4 different high schools. Like, it's not that off par of what his brand was. He did this all the time. So I don't think it's that weird. Even before this season, I had a feeling that he was gonna leave Nebraska just because, you know, like he always seems like he had a wandering eye, which I don't blame him. Like, there's other programs that are competing for national champions, but he could have been the savior for that. So whatever. But I don't know. I just think that the biggest thing with Dylan is I think that if he never got hurt in the USC game, he would still be here because we would have beaten USC handedly because before he got hurt, we were like crushing them. Like, the game looked like it was like, yeah, no, like Nebraska's kind of running away with this. Like, it's not even a debate, right? So he he definitely looked like they looked like they were gonna win that game, right? So if you win that game at that point, like, you still have 2 losses on the schedule. You beat USC and then you win out. I think you win out because you got Northwestern after that. Then it was Penn State, Iowa to end the season. Those games are definitely more competitive when he's at the quarterback position. So I don't know. I just think that, like, him losing him in USC and like him being out for the season, that's when it like shifted. It's like, all right, he's probably done here. Um, so I don't think it's that weird that he's entering the transfer portal.
You are essentially breaking up with your previous destination. And I think back to the stretch of days when Dylan Raiola ultimately ended up decommitting from Georgia and flipping to Nebraska. And it was one of those moments in time where you're like, this could be the moment for Nebraska football where it all flips around. You got Matt Rule in the fold, looking down the barrel of that 3-year plan and eventually getting to a place where Nebraska competing for the top of the Big Ten and making the college football playoff. And he was sort of the poster child for all that. He was the person you pointed to and said he's going to be the difference on the field. Matt Rule, the difference in building this whole thing, but he's going to be the guy that puts us on the same playing field as an Ohio State, as a Georgia, the 2 schools that Dylan Raiola was at one point in time committed to during his high school career. Neither here nor there. But it feels weird. It feels like to me, neither side of this equation, from Nebraska or Raiola, got what they originally signed up for, and it's not really anybody's fault. I think both tried to meet the other's expectations. Raiola gets there day one, ends up winning the starting job, and didn't really have the support around him from what I.
Yeah, I'm glad JD actually said that. Like, I don't think that it's mainly on him. Like, this dude had no offensive line. He had no offensive line, no defensive line to help him out to get any sacks or anything to get off the field so they can get the ball back either. Like, but with no offensive line, you could put Tom Brady behind, under center for Nebraska, but behind that offensive line, like, that's a liability. Like, dude, like, how many times did he get sacked during the Minnesota game? It was like 10 times, close to 10 times. Like, come on, like, it's hard to win when your quarterback, the guy that's dishing it out to all the playmakers, is on his ass, is on the floor on the turf getting crushed by this defensive tackles and defensive ends. So I don't know. I just think that like if he had any type of offensive line, which ironically it goes back to Dylan's uncle, so it goes back to a Raiola, which is funny. Um, I don't know. I like it. All of this is like a what could have been. You know what I mean? Like what could have been if like he had an offensive line. What could have been if he never got hurt. Like it's just we'll never know. But it just seems like it was a just. It's sad to think about because it's like if those two things were in place, like Nebraska 1,000% would be in the playoff this year because like they had an easy schedule. If they had any type of offensive line, they would have beat everybody. Like you got to think like behind these offensive lines, they still only lost to Michigan by 3 points. Now they get smoked by Minnesota, and then when they play USC, Dylan gets hurt. That's when everyone kind of gives up on the season. But up to that point, it's like your team's still kind of alive up to the USC game. So I don't know. It would have been nice to see him, like JD said, like just to have some help.
I could gather when it came to weapons, when it came to offensive coordinator. So you're bringing Dana Holder, you bring in Dana Holderson, you bring in more weapons, and it just never really totally got settled. Injury is probably a big part of that, but you hear what I'm saying. It never really, I don't think, met what Bill Raiola thought he signed up for when he committed to Nebraska. On the flip side, what I just said, Nebraska thought they got, I put in air quotes here, savior, but savior of Nebraska football. Like when that poem dropped, you thought Nebraska was set to go win national champions if you were a Nebraska fan. And again, it didn't really equate to that. And some of it, I think, is the kid was a true freshman trying to play in the Big Ten, and there's going to be some growing pains there, especially with the roster efficiencies. But it never really totally got to where I think both sides expected it to be, and quite frankly, where I thought it would eventually get to. Like I thought this would be something that at least resulted in a 9-win season at some point in time for Nebraska, but neither here nor there. So what's next for Dylan Raiola? If I'm in,
He's going to Oregon. Like it's pretty much a done deal. Like he's going to Oregon, pending if Dante Moore comes back to Oregon, then he obviously won't go there. But then he'll just go to Miami. So I think it's Oregon is like the clear front runner favorite, especially you know if Dante Moore actually goes to the NFL draft like that. It's Dylan Raiola's team, like for sure at Oregon. Probably not Texas Tech. I don't see why he would want to go. Like, that's just meme central. It's gonna be all over X and Twitter. Like, you don't want to. No, don't go to Texas Tech. Even though they're good, like I like Texas Tech, love them. They're sweet. Like they're cool to watch. Um, but no, I think he fits Oregon, like their vibe there and everything around that. So like, it's just and it's a done deal. Like I think that like Oregon has had a really really long track record now of like taking transfer QBs and making them really really viable, if not like first round draft picks, right? So I think he's gonna go to Oregon. I think it's a pretty much done deal.
his camp, I'm telling him with the force of 1,000 waterfalls, Dylan,
Compete for a title, right? Seasons. You can do the same thing at Oregon.
You don't go for logo. You don't go for NIL money. You go somewhere that's going to pull the absolute most out of you as a quarterback and get you ready for the NFL. Yes, we want to win football games, but first and foremost, if we're being selfish about this thing, and if I'm Dylan Raiola, quite frankly, hitting the transfer portal, I should be selfish about this. It's my career. I didn't know me, but there's an offensive head coach or an offensive coordinator I trust with my life, my mortgage, and my family. That's what I'm thinking if I'm Raiola. I'm really curious to see what his market is because
I think he'll take less money to go to Oregon. I think that's the play, just so you can be in the like on a team that's like a for sure like natty national championship caliber type team. I wonder what Oregon's schedule for 2026. Football, yeah. Yeah, James Madison This is a weird website. Look at this. Um, this is 2025. So we go to 2026. It's not even there yet. Hopefully, it's a good schedule. Like maybe that's like kind of the deal. Uh, let's do one more search. Football schedule. Here we go. Is this it? Oh, this might be it. Okay, this looks like kind of not legit, but we'll see. So this is this. If this is it, look at that, Nebraska. But it's at Oregon, so that'd be cool. It'd be better if it was like at Lincoln. That'd be kind of funny. Um, okay, dub. Toss up game. That Illinois is like a decent team. Dub. Tough game. Tough game just because of the emotion with that. When they might be good next year, and so like the end of the schedule, like it looks kind of Ohio State, you know, USC, Washington. That's so I don't know. I mean, that's a good schedule. He'll go to the playoff and everything, but yeah.
I think at Nebraska, there was a lot of moments that you can look at and say, okay, I see that. I see how we could fit that into our offense if we have more guys around, and if we could have a little bit better coaching, maybe we get more out of Raiola. But I also think there should be, if I'm entering the Villanova sweepstakes, I think I'm proceeding with a good bit of caution for some of the good moments and also a fair amount of bad moments from a one Dylan Raiola. On3 has reported they do not expect, or we do not expect rather, Texas Tech to be in the mix for Dylan.
Dylan Raiola's in shambles, dude. He can't go to Texas Tech. He's in shambles, dude.
Raiola, which, quite frankly, this is probably best for everyone. If you thought people were trolling Dylan Raiola now with the Pat Mahomes cosplay stuff, put that dude in the Red Raider uniform, and oh my gosh, that's not good for anybody. Raiola, Twitter,
Yeah, no duh. I just said this.
Texas Tech, it would have been a bad deal. So honestly, kind of a sign of relief. Hopefully for all parties, that's not going to happen. Miami, I keep saying this. I think they're going to go get a
Yeah, Miami makes a lot of sense too if Oregon doesn't work out.
quarterback, and if I'm Dylan Raiola, if
Yeah, yeah.
will take me, I'm there, dude. Cam Ward, number one overall pick. Carson Beck, I said in the previous video for DJ Lagway. I think if look at the way his career has evolved since leaving Georgia, I'd be surprised if Carson Beck didn't drastically improve his NFL prospects. The track record is there. Go play for Shannon Dawson. Go play that exciting offense. Go get some warmer weather now. Well, going from Lincoln to Miami would not be the worst chance scenery. And go maybe revive that career a little bit when it comes to what you thought you were going to be when you committed to Nebraska out of high school. Villarreal's family, to the way that I understand it, is no longer living in Arizona, but there was a good chunk of Villarreal's high school career where he was in Arizona. What about Arizona State? Somewhere somewhat familiar. If Kenny Dillingham's still the head coach there, he doesn't leave for Michigan. That's a guy who has had a really solid.
No. Arizona State, like you don't go to Arizona State for football. You don't. You go there to party. Like the first thing you think of with Arizona State is not football. It's like degeneracy. Like actually. So like no, no. Arizona State, no. Hot as hell there, no. If you want to have fun, sure, but that's not what homeboy here, Dylan Raiola, is trying to do. Like he needs to go play so he can be a first round pick. Like that's what I'm sad that he's leaving, right? But like I'm kind of rooting for the kid too. Like I hope he like kind of figures this out. So, but Arizona State, no, I disagree with JD on this. Don't not Arizona State.
A track record when it comes to his own quarterback development. I don't know, something to watch. I think when you look at the next destination in the market for Raiola, so much of this to me is predicated on who needs a quarterback, and then what I said before too. What's the overall view of Raiola as a starting quarterback in one of those Power Two conferences in the SEC and the Big Ten? Does Florida go after Raiola? does LSU go after Raiola? Like, what happens?
I'd be shocked if LSU goes after Dylan Raiola. I think Dylan Raiola, or I think LSU is going to go after like DJ Lagway, maybe, or LSU. He's just going to get Lane Kiffin's just going to go get his QB from Ole Miss. Like, I don't know. I don't know where DJ Lagway's going to go. But I don't know why we're talking about him. But no, I'd be surprised if Dylan Raiola gets hit up by LSU, by Lane Kiffin. That'd be sweet. Don't get me wrong. That'd be cool. But I don't know. It doesn't really like fit him. I don't think. Um, is what it is though. Florida be interesting. I think the only SEC school that like actually makes sense for him if he were to get hit up is Georgia. Like back to Georgia because like I think his dad I think Dom still lives there, right? They're in Atlanta. Um, so I don't know. I think any SEC school that would go after him would be Georgia, but I don't even know. I could be wrong here, but I don't know how many years left like Gunnar Stockton has or anything like that. So like I'd be shocked if I'd be shocked if LSU goes after him for sure.
Penn State, does Michigan end up, hiring someone that Bryce Underwood isn't wanting to play for? He hits the portal. All of a sudden, Michigan's a quarterback. My my feel on this is
There really is a ton of unknowns with like coaches and QBs for next year. Like that's kind of like not everybody's talking about that. JD's on his game right now. He's pulling out some good stuff. Like that'd be crazy if he goes to Michigan. Could you imagine if he went to Michigan? Because like Bryce Underwood would just like transfer. I think Bryce Underwood, like if he doesn't like Michigan, I think he goes to LSU over DJ Lagway for sure. So, but again, Michigan for Raiola, I don't think that's gonna like it could be, but I don't know.
if Raiola is going to end up at one of those premier schools that's in the Power Two, I think it's something that happens a little bit later in the process because I don't know where Dylan Raiola is on a lot of these people's boards, but I don't think he's ahead of Sam Levitt. Like, is he ahead of Brendan Scoresby? Is he ahead of a DJ Lack? I don't know the answer to that, but my feel is he's probably not occupying the top spot for some of these schools. So I'm really curious to see how the dust settles, and as it settles, I think it'll become more and more clear.
He's probably like, let's see, what like, let's see what he's ranked. Let's see for like this year. Oh, I think he's number two. Yeah, he's number two. Damn. I would have Sorsby over him. I think I'd go Sam Levitt, Sorsby, then Raiola, and then a gap because I don't think DJ Liveway is that great. Like he had a lot of games where I'm like, God, this dude does not look that great. Um, but I think it's fair. He's definitely one of the top couple guys for sure. Yeah, so he's comfortably in the top three. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
And with more demand for anyone in this transfer portal. Now, here's what we do not want you to do. But if Dylan Raiola is watching this, here's what I would recommend doing, what I like for him to do. You just grow your fibula. So who knows how healthy you're going to be by spring, fall camp. And if you're not healthy for spring, well, then at that point in time, it's probably a lot harder to get in your system. And how much does it help you for the fall? All those things. Go do a continuity spring and sit here. And I know that sounds bizarre for a guy that's played 2 years in the Big Ten and had some reasonable success. But we've seen this now for I think he would benefit a lot from sitting for a full season, get the leg back right, be under one of the best head coaches in college football on an offensive level, whether you want to pick a Steve Sarkisian or Dan Lanning, whoever his OC is, like there's a proven track record there at Oregon for transfer portal quarterbacks, even with no Will Stein there. Like I'm just saying, go somewhere where you can sit for a year, get healthy, get comfortable, learn the system, and then go all the heck out and shoot whatever you want to achieve out. He's not going to do that.
I think that's a decent take. I think that's a pretty all right take by JD. Like, if he's able to like get a a medical red shirt, and just kind of like sit the year, that's not that bad. I'm kind of with JD on this. Like I think that's a smart take. Um, just like hey, if you're not healthy for next year, for Oregon, for Miami, for wherever you're going to be, like it might not be a bad idea to just sit and just be around a winning program and being in that environment. So, um, I don't know, but I think we get the gist. I'm gonna end this video here, but yeah, it sucks that he's leaving Nebraska, but I think everybody in the state of Nebraska could see this coming. Eventually, at least. I still think to this day, like if he never got hurt in the USC game, he would still be here because our season would have ended way differently than the way it did. Up to the USC game, up to when he got hurt, Nebraska was still alive for the playoff. They had two losses and they were like knocking on the door of beating USC. Like they were there, right? So, um, but once they lost that, like the wheels kind of roll off and it's just so. Anyway, um, sad to see this dude go, leave Nebraska, but I don't really blame him. Wish him nothing but this, but success. But it is what it is. Yeah.